this place reminds me so much of West Memphis.
Morning, guys.
I prefer to be in West Memphis. This one it's just too much.
Radio going there. Oh, headed home. January 22nd. Pulling out of the pilot here at Little Rock. Oh, it's a brisk morning. Brisk. Got up, it was 23 degrees. Talk about shriveling up. Five and a half hours from home. Let's see if I can beat my time from last week. Last week I got I got to the yard by 1:30. Now I'm shooting for 12. I only stopped once, and Dingleberry there ain't got no blinkers. And that was just a pee at a rest stop. Because, hey, when you hydrate, you gotta pee. You gotta pee, you gotta pee, you gotta pee. And it's been it's been about a week, let's be honest. It's been about a week since I did a video. That little thanks video for James Best of them. That's one of my most viewed videos, of course. It's probably because I put their abbreviations in the title. If you put somebody's abbreviations in the title, they're more than likely you're gonna get viewed when they look up them. So there's that, which that's just a little bit of a use their name to get you some views, which from what I've gathered, it's not exactly faux pas. But you don't want to do it all the time, considering it was my way of just kind of giving a thanks back, because they really have inspired me. I just wanted to make this something little. And then today I thought about telling one of my training stories. Not a trainee story, but when I was in training. I think it was my first week, probably the third day. And I'll leave this up. I started on with my company. I went through the 4 weeks of training, got my CDL, and then I did 6 weeks of OTR, which most people say they only get 1 or 2 weeks. I'm like, I gotta say that's probably a good thing about my company. They give us 6 weeks. That way we really get it. Really get that basics down, and then the rest of it kind of comes as we get exposed to it, because you can't train for every scenario because you never know what the scenarios will be. So I basically learned the basics. The speed limit, stay between lines, be courteous to the drivers, don't sit at fuel aisle and eat your damn lunch. How to figure out where the drivers' check-ins are, load and dock courtesy, odds and ends like that. But anyways, back to the story. So, it was first week, I remember that, it was the first week, possibly the second, but I want to say it was the first week training. And I want to say it was like the third day. And the way my trainer did it is, I drove from the time I got with him. So I didn't get no day of sitting in the passenger seat, kind of chilling, while he drove for a day, and I just got used to it. No. I was in the driver's seat from the time I met him at the yard until the time my clock ran out, or way the time rolled is it was getting dark, and I really wasn't comfortable driving at night yet. Too much, mainly because I wear glasses. Anybody that wears glasses knows that nighttime is the worst time to drive, because not only do you have the magnification of usually your rear view mirrors, but you also have the amplification of your rear view mirrors, and then the magnification of your glasses you're wearing. It's pretty blinding. And when you're driving a 75 to 100 foot long truck carrying upwards of 80,000 pounds gross weight, everything in the box and all, you don't want to be blind. No blind. No thank you. No thank you. And so most of the time I was driving, but if we had to get somewhere and it was just a couple hours we needed to move, my trainer would jump over and he'd drive us. But for the most part, I was in this seat and I was hauling. Well, as much as you can haul at 69 miles an hour. Oh, and I don't know if I said this, but the truck I'm in now, this is the first truck I trained in. I lucked out. Like, I knew my equipment when I got it and I was on my own. That has got to be one of the biggest things I got to say that gave me a boost of confidence when I was on my own, because I was nervous as hell of how do I make sure I know when I stop? How do I know how far I can get? How do I know when I can plan stops? Like, I was nervous as hell my first week of my own. But needless to say, back to the story. So, we were up in Pennsylvania, PA. You know, PA, I spent more time in PA during training than anywhere else. But yeah, PA. We got to this shipper at probably about 8 or 9 the night before. And the shipper didn't open until like 7:30, 8 o'clock. So we just pulled up and parked in their little parking area. Because they had a little bit of room for a couple of trucks. They weren't no big Walmart, Sam's Club distribution center. That's just a little, probably Walmart store-sized warehouse with like 8 docks. So it wasn't huge. So we pulled in, we parked in the back lot, slept, and the next morning rolls around. Well, of course, as a trainee, I got the top bunk. And so I had to get my trainer up enough to let me down out of the bunk so I can go take care of some business, you know what I mean? And then I was awake. I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna be able to go back to sleep. I'm just gonna chill up here in the front seat. I got about an hour until they're open. So I sat there, chilled in the passenger seat because it's the only one that really reclines much. Snuggled up my blanket and sat there and scrolled Facebook for about 45 minutes. That's when I started seeing people roll in. And going by what I was told, I can't drive if my trainer's asleep. I can't do anything if he's asleep because he's not there to supervise me. Well, I was like, hey man, they're starting to show up. You want to get up? And he's like, it's fine. Wake me up when it's time. Well, another 30 minutes goes by, and it seems like they're open for business and whatnot. You know, I'm like, you know what? We're in the parking lot. It's right there. I can creep around. Let me try if I get this done. So I creeped over there, got out, did all the stuff, opened the doors. Well, I went in and checked with them first. And they're like, yeah, just grab a door. I'm like, okay. But you're doing paperwork there was a pain in the butt. Like, they gave me paper, you had to go away, I had to remember all my stuff because I had a little piece of paper I wrote all my info on. Took them about 20 minutes to find me. And that's when I went out and moved the truck into the dock. Got the truck into the dock, chocked the wheels, just chilling. Got loaded, pulled out, and was getting out to shut the door, and I got back in, and my trainer was sitting in the passenger seat, scared the shit out of me. And he's like, what was going on? I was like, it was time to get loaded. I went ahead and got us done. And he's like, cool, let's get rolling. And I'm like, you'll never believe what we're carrying. He's like, what are we carrying? I'm like, air. And he's like, air? I'm like, yeah, we got 13,000 pounds of air in the back. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, we got ramen noodles. We got cup noodles in the back of this damn truck. We got 13,000 pounds of air. And he just started laughing. He's like, oh, hell, we're hauling air. I'm like, yeah, we're hauling air. It's a lot of fucking air. It's heavy-ass air. 13,000 pounds of cup ramen noodles. But it wasn't like the ramen brand. It was that, what is that good brand of noodles? Simply Noodles, whatever, like that brand. It's the brand that's over in Japan and Asia. Like that, it was that brand. Those are the good noodles, by the way. But I don't know it. Those are the best noodles to like doctor up with like a couple pieces of bacon or some little cut up pieces of pork chop. Like throw it in a bowl, obviously. Like warm it up in a cup, go ahead and do all that, and then stick it into a bowl. You can doctor that stuff up pretty good. Seasoning packets are good too. Or the seasoning they use is good. Usually good broth. Back to the store, I'm like, yeah, we got 13,000 pounds of ramen noodles in the back of this trailer. I'm like, hell, the packaging and the pallets is where all the weight is. Like, there ain't no weight in those noodles. Or no, let me phrase it. I was saying that the pallets weighed more than the damn noodles. And then we took those over. I want to say we took those over to New Jersey. Dropped them off somewhere. And then our next pickup, that same day, we went and picked up some, bless me, Arizona tea. Not the cans though, we got the big gallon jugs. And we had a truckload of those. I can't remember how much weight. I want to say it was like 20,000 pounds of tea. Of course, liquid's way more. And I carry this story on to the second kind of little story there, because the whole time we were doing that, between the noodles and the tea, we were like, I wonder how much cargo's worth opposed to what it's costing to ship this stuff. Because we're like, okay, the noodles go for about what, 50 cents a cup, or like 80 cents a cup, so there's 9 cups to a slat. You'd probably get about 100 slats to a pallet. We sat there and did all kinds of math. We worked it out. Like it wasn't that much for the noodles. But then we actually got down to like nitty gritties for the tea, because Arizona Tea sells the cans, which is a quart, for $1. 4 quarts makes a gallon. And then we worked out the math, and we worked out that we were hauling $100,000 worth of Arizona tea. And it just kind of cracked us up, and it's like, wow. That's a little bit of a drop in the bucket there. $100,000 in Arizona tea. It wasn't the good tea though. It was the diet. It was the diet and the green tea or whatever. Yeah, it wasn't the good ones. Yeah, that was one of the funniest times while I was out on the road in the training. I got to haul 13,000 pounds of air and $100,000 in Arizona tea. That was a funny day. But driving to New Jersey at night, ooh. We weren't like New Jersey. We were just like in the city or the state of New Jersey. Yeah, driving through there. Oh, that was a little bit of a headache. All those toll roads and bridges was not fun. figured I'd take a page out of Josh's book from This Guy Trucks and just kind of tell some training stories. Of course, it would be me being a trainee, not the trainer. And I think that guy, he slowed down so I get around. This truck governed at 69 sucks. When it comes to passing stuff like that, it's a royal pain in the butt. Some space. That's a couple car lengths. There we go, good. But all that to say, this channel, I'm not going to teach you anything. I might just give some clever pieces of information or interesting thoughts. I'm not going to claim to know it all. And I'll be the first one to tell you I have no clue what the hell I'm doing out here. If it wasn't for the fact that I was on this route where I did the same thing every week, I think I'd be lost by now when it comes to this job. Hell, it was a little bit of a wrench in the gears when they just said the routes are changing, you're going to Texas. And I'm like, what? Which, hey, more miles, more money. Excuse me, take a drink. But it's one of those scenarios where, hell, if I got to call out on Tuesday, which is the first day of the week for me for working, I'm screwed for the rest of the week. If I'm out Tuesday, that's when my route starts. Like if I'm out one day, my whole week's gone. Because it's not like it was where I was doing runs every day and coming back to a spot and dropping what I had and going to another one. I'm doing a long haul. And yeah, I got more miles with this long haul, but damn, if I have to be out 1 or 2 days, my week is gone. Which that part sucks with this. But hey, this job was probably a saving grace, but a little bit of a curse. Because I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm a fat guy. I'm overweight. I was overweight before I got into this business. And I was working a job at a warehouse, and it was fucking up my ankles. I had so many ankle problems being on my feet at that warehouse. And hell, it wasn't even being on my feet. It was the fact that my shoes would wear out unevenly because I have a rolling ankle, so it puts more pressure on one part of my shoe than the other. So 2 or 3 months and I'd have the sole wore out on a pair of shoes on one side more than the other. And anybody that's ever had that issue or has that issue knows that once you start walking on a pair of shoes where one side's wore out more, you step and roll, step and roll, step and roll. Like, it was to the point where, like, my ankle would be, like, twisted to the point where you'd think I'd broken. Or at least it felt like it all the time. Like, there'd be days where I couldn't walk. Like, I could barely get to the bathroom and back from where I was in my room. Like, I was stuck where I was because of my ankle. Hell, at points I was wishing it was my knee. Because hell, at least then I'd be able to hobble. Because I'd be able to lock my knee straight at least. But when you got ankle pains, like it would feel like it was in my Achilles ended. And things like that. Like I still have the issue on occasion. But I've gotten to the point where I've learned how to buy shoes that are a little, you can tell there's a little bit more padding on the sole on the side that I need. And I've learned that I just got to spend more money on more money on a pair of shoes so I get a better quality. But yeah, this job, is definitely a must change in my situation. Oh, we got a nice pretty sunset over here. Now if only it wasn't trying to blind me. Now I'm gonna do something. But yeah, I was probably a little more than my story. But hey, I figured I'd give everybody that watches, which, hell, I ain't got no subscribers, so I can't say that I have repeat viewers. But hey, you see my channel. All I ask is you watch it all the way through. It may not be exciting, it may not be the most entertaining, but it's not your average show where I'm just trying to get you to click and watch a video so I can earn a buck. It's just me kind of vlogging. And I've said it in everything and every time I do a video. I have no topic, I have no subject, I have no theme. It's just a guy driving a truck trying to kill some time by talking. Yeah. Shared my stories. Hopefully you found it a little funny. Or if not funny, at least a little entertaining. And I think I'm going to start telling a couple more of these, and I think I'm going to call them This One Time. Thought it'd be kind of catchy. That way it covers all stories that are in the past. And I'm not subjugating them to like trainee stories or trainer stories or whatnot. That'd be a pretty sunset if it wasn't trying to blind me. And this sun visor's gonna do nothing, and now, yep, nothing. Oh damn. And there we go. Alright. Well, I'm gonna sign off here, guys. I'll probably get this one posted tomorrow. This being January 22nd, 2022. Second week working of the year. Yeah, that whole COVID thing. Man, it's a real bitch.